day, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Latest with VR Show. And I'm so excited today. We have two new authors when I had the last two, Aaron and Megan. It was great, so I'm excited about having these two lovely ladies today we've got going on. And we are going to talk about their books. We're going to talk about guys, relationships, good guys versus bad boys. So this is going to be a fun show, so make sure you stay tuned. Starting with Latrivia, how are you?
Wonderful, thanks for having me.
Good. How are you feeling today? Is everything going good? Enjoying the weather? It's nice outside
I am
today.
loving the weather.
Okay.
It's been a very busy weekend, but I am enjoying every moment of it. Thanks for having me on the show. Makes it better.
No problem. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just dig right in.
Okay.
You have bestsellers, interracial romance.
Correct.
Is that how you describe them, interracial romance?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what made you go into interracial romance as opposed to urban or just, what some people would think of.
Well, honestly, I've been in marketing and public relations since I was 18 years old.
Okay.
I wrote my first book my first published work when I was in kindergarten. I was in the commercial PFO poem, and so that sort of started it all. And I always loved writing romance novels. And I think that I just realized that there was a niche where there was a need for more developed characters. Mm-hmm. There were a few awesome authors out there that were doing a great job of it, but I felt like maybe I could create my own voice. Mm-hmm. And being in an interracial relationship at that time, I felt like a lot of the issues weren't covered. It was so face value.
Okay,
if you will.
gotcha.
You know what I mean? It was, this person's white and this person's black, and if you know anything about relationships, then that's not the way it actually works.
Exactly.
It's just, why don't you put the toilet seat down?
Right.
Why am I dealing with you with this? And, I don't want to go to your mother's house this weekend. And, all the things that you really deal with in a relationship on a normal basis anyway, so.
Right, exactly. And I have to say that I can't say that I've actually heard of interracial romance. I didn't know. I thought romance was romance.
There are so many subgenres.
So I didn't know.
Quite a few subgenres under romance. You have so many different types because there are so many different types of people. Yes. And I think that that's just a reflection of it.
Okay, gotcha. And I know one of the things, paranormal romance, is another one that you do. Tell me about that because I'm not sure about that one either.
Well, originally, the first book from the paranormal series has not come out. Originally, I was supposed to be putting together a book with Scott Bartlett. He's the lead guitarist for this multi-platinum band called Saving Abel. It's an alternative rock band. And our schedules were so crazy. And so one of the things that we decided to do was hold off on it because they were on a world tour.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I think we're definitely going to revisit it. Okay. I've been speaking to my editor who has been on me about, you should definitely write a paranormal romance. And I've developed some concepts to see how my readers, I have 50,000 readers, and they're used to a certain type of thing from me.
Yes.
And going into paranormal, I may have to write free books for me, give people free books for me just to test the market and see how my readers would respond to something like that, because I write things that are a little more reality based.
Okay.
In terms of Russian crime, Memphis crime, Memphis police officers, military, politics, things that are along that vein, but not necessarily paranormal. So maybe I should write a vampire novel. I think that, I'm watching the vampire stories, but I think that it would be, the first one would definitely be something we do for free.
Okay, gotcha.
To see if readers say, you know what, Kirby, I like it, or let's,
stick with it. Because that's one of my questions that I have for you. Once you start out with romance and you dip into something different, or your readers kind of like, wait a minute, I want all of the romance that you've been giving us before.
I've never really done true romance except for with the Lonely Heart series. The Lonely Heart series are individual stories, standalones about particular relationships. Right. Whereas everything else is, driving fast and shooting and guns and so whenever my readers get a book from me, 9 times out of 10 if they check it, they'll see Lonely Heart series is all about, I fell in love with you at the grocery store and now And then if they see that it doesn't have any indication on it, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some violence and it's going to be craziness. And that's one of the fun things about this brand is that a woman can read this and feel like she watched an action movie.
Right.
And her husband, boyfriend, whomever can pick it up and read it and enjoy it too. Because I hear that a lot. Guys are like, I really like it, but my girlfriend left her book at the house and I picked it up, and so
I just started reading. And that's one of my questions too. You said the Lonely Heart series. Now you have The Ugly Girlfriend, Finding Oprah, and The Grunt.
And The Contingency Plan.
And The Contingency. Okay, out of those 4, I've read some of the reviews about it, but do you have a favorite or one that's like your baby that you
I think The Grunt is definitely my baby.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Grunt is what when I wrote The Grunt, we had just gotten back from Camp Lejeune. Okay. And we'd been in Camp Lejeune for quite some time. So we had gotten used to the lifestyle. We never locked our doors. It's 40,000 Marines every morning doing cadence, running in the rain, in the sun.
Right.
They open the doors for you and it's yes ma'am and no ma'am, and there's a certain amount of respect and decorum that you just don't get anywhere in the world. And I've visited a lot of places and I can truly say you go to Fort Campbell, you go to Camp Lejeune, Army base or Marine Corps base, it doesn't matter. The same feeling is there. Is that it's about respect and honor. And so The Grunt was a dedication to that type of respect between men and women. Okay. And it also questions in terms of status and socioeconomic status and, you know, just status in the community, because every community, you know, there is that issue, you know. And so this deals with enlisted versus, you know, officers and commissioned officers, and it's a hilarious twist. You don't expect it.
Good. Okay. And now also, aside from all the books you also have a radio show, the Blog Talk radio show called The Skinny. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I've got I with so many readers, and I first started out with a bunch of readers in the U.S., which was awesome because a lot of the books signings that we went to and whatnot were here, but it's like, how am I going to get to London? How am I going to get to Moscow? You know, and we have so many followers. We have, the last time we checked, we had 128 countries that were on our roster of dedicated readers. Okay. And I was like, I can't communicate with all these people. I want to, you know, in the middle of the night sending emails to fans, which I love, and the one thing I decided, you know, in talking to the team, the best thing to do was try to do a radio show. Okay, gotcha. So that you could call in and ask questions. And a lot of people still send me an email, which I thought I was being smart. And then they still send an email and ask more emails. Yes, yeah, I'm sure. Tons. So it's a lot of fun. Okay. And we're definitely going to pick it back up for 2014. You know, pretty heavily, maybe twice a month, which was pretty heavy for my schedule. Right. You know, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And now I know that you've been a spotlight in so many different Memphis arenas, but you were also spotlight in Ebony magazine. Is that correct?
Correct.
How did that feel? That's big.
It was a lot of fun. I was in college, and I was at the time writing Ivy's Twisted Vine, and I was Miss Lemoyne in college, and it was just one of those things where I was like, when I was approached about it, I was really excited. And one of the things I remember telling my sorority sister is, what am I going to do with my hair? You know, I mean, that was all that was on my mind. Not saying something prolific, some call to action to get people energized about some important issue, my hair. So I've grown a lot since then. Okay,
gotcha. Okay, now, since you have so many books and you publish so many, I'm sure there are, you know, readers or writers that are coming up looking to you. Who were some of the people that inspired you, you know, when you got into writing?
I would have to say, when I first started, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry was my first novel in the 2nd grade. Okay. Shortly after that, I really got into Maya Angelou, and Oprah has always been one of my biggest sort of icons in my mind in terms of she's developed a very significant model. And I remember she said write her own check. So I started my own publishing company, which is why I represent so many other authors. So I'm not only in the business in terms of producing books for my readers, but I also make sure that my authors that I sign on, they do very well. My aunt Lynette Escobar down in Miami, She has written a really great book.
Okay.
And done very well. A very dear friend of mine, Jay Henderson, she wrote the Someday trilogy, which really focused on the walk a woman has with Christianity and celibacy. And Dr. John Bell, a good friend of mine and one of the leading podiatrists in Memphis, he's written an array of books. Okay. Rhonda Nelson has written a really great fiction book, and so we have some new authors that will be coming up. It's really a lot of fun, but I've always just sort of leaned on a lot of different people. I will read anything. I've read Shakespeare. There's not a Shakespearean play that I have not read. Okay. I read James Patterson, Brenda Jackson, who is a New York Times bestseller, is one of my mentors, literally. Okay. We were down there. She flew us down for her movie premiere. I've talked to her 100 times about how to keep this thing fresh, because she has produced so many books and done so many amazing, groundbreaking things. I think it's important when you know that you're ready to make that next level type of relationship, that you start to surround yourself with people that are already there. Yes. And people who are getting there, and
I was just having that conversation.
Yeah, it's really important. So Oprah said, write your own checks. And I remember I worked for the National Civil Rights Museum, and I brought in President Clinton, and I brought in Bono, and I met all these awesome people. And then Oprah was coming. That was a big deal. It's like, it's
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because here she is. Like, I don't think Beyonce could have done what she has done. I don't think a million other women, young women in so many avenues and doing so many different things could have done what they done if she hadn't done it. Exactly. Because whether we realized it or not subconsciously, she was the model. Like, I'm going to be like, I want Tom Cruise jumping all over my sofa. That's not going to happen. But you get what I'm saying. So, I mean.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
It's definitely a big inspiration to have people that you see doing it. You talk about it, and it's really important to write a plan down and make it plain. But there has to be some steps. Yes. You've got to be willing to sacrifice.
It's levels.
Give
to this,
something. Work that 9 to 5,
right,
and then work another 9 to 5. I mean, this weekend we were doing 100 things. We were in 100 different places, and it's just so important for you not to say in your mind, well, I've worked too much. Right. Well, have you gotten where you
exactly.
are supposed
you
to?
Need to keep going.
Go back to work.
Yes, keep going.
So it's really important.
Another question I have. Would you like to see your books as plays or movies and things like that?
Well, currently, and I of course can't say whom, but I'm currently having the book reviewed by a major movie producer. Okay. And this is the second time that he has reviewed something, and the first time when his office called, I was like, this is such a joke. I almost hung up on that. I was like, are you kidding me? They're like, no, we're not kidding you. Check your caller ID. This is Beverly Hills. I was like, oh my goodness, look at myself. Yeah, it's being considered, and you don't ever know if that's going to happen or not. But I think it's really awesome when people take note of you. Right. And it's an honor, whether it happens or not, when people take notice of you. There was it's just been a lot of amazing contacts that I've made, and the relationships that I've been able to build, and I would love to see it as a movie. Okay. For myself, and because I'm a mother, I want to leave a legacy. Yes, I know that every book that I write, the royalties are there. Right. I've written 15 books, but I'm only 33. Right. So by the time I pass away, I hope to leave my children and grandchildren a legacy where they can say, I want to think about other things I want to do, because I am not financially strapped for anything.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, we are going to go to a commercial break. Okay. And we are going to come back. We're going to have another guest. Kimberly Kirby is coming up. And you're staying here.
I'm staying here.
You're staying here. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, does your food suffer from a flavor deficiency? Well, let Flying Sobeys multi-purpose buffalo wing sauce give you a smack in the mouth with flavor. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I give you a Flying Sobeys flavor smack in the mouth?
Well, sure you can.
Ooh. Wow. Can I have a flavor smack in the mouth too? Sure you can. With Flying Sobeys multi-purpose buffalo wing sauce. Get you some today.
Hello, friends. I'm concerned about the health of our African American community. According to the American Heart Association, our rates of high blood pressure in the U.S. are among the highest in the world. And diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol, physical inactivity, poor nutrition, and smoking are causing us to suffer and die from stroke at alarming rates. In 3 John 2, the Bible says, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." Visit powertoendstroke.org and become empowered to take care of your health. You are the power to end stroke.
All right, we're back with another segment of the latest with VR, and I'm so excited. We're about to have some girl talk here.
All right.
So be transparent.
Okay.
However you feel, say it. As long as there's no cursing, we might be able to bleep it out, but we're not going to do that. But, be open, be honest, tell how you really feel about it. So what we're talking about today is good guys versus bad boys. First, we're going to start by defining what a good guy is or what a bad boy is to you. I'm going to start with you, Kimberly.
With me, a good guy is that's that husband quality guy. That's the guy that he treats you well. Mm-hmm. He listens to you. He honors you. He respects you. Mm-hmm. That's the good guy. The bad guy that's that guy, he disrespects you. Mm-hmm. He doesn't treat you the way you're worthy of being treated. Mm-hmm. And that's something I think we all can agree with.
Yes, I agree. And Kimberly knows she has her own books coming out, and just Kimberly Kirby is who this is, if you all don't know already. But she also does romance novels, so she knows. She writes about it, so she knows. But yes, that was very good. Okay, what about you? What do you think, Latrivia?
Totally different. I'm going to take a totally different. A bad boy is someone who just has not come into his own yet.
Oh,
He hasn't reached that completion in his life. Mm-hmm. Not to be complete for somebody else, but just his own. He's more self-centered, more focused on his thing. And a good guy is someone who maybe he hadn't arrived there yet, but he's really willing to open up and give more of himself to other people.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Even during the process of his completion. So most of the bad boys I know are all about themselves.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And, they do sort of respect the women that they're with, but they still they're just rough around the edges. They're like a diamond that you really probably are going to need a blowtorch for. Just forget shining it. It is what it is. But then you've got really good guys who have been bad boys, and they're just reformed. They met that woman. They're at that part of their life, and they're like, you know what? I used to do all that. Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Okay.
So.
And now, in one of your books, The Grunt, Staff Sergeant Brett Black, is he a good guy or a bad boy?
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Okay, and what about Mitchell O'Keefe from The Ugly Girlfriend? He's good?
He's a good guy.
He is good. Okay, now, The Royal Flush. Now look
Dmitry Medloff.
Yes, is Dmitry. Is he rough around the edges, or what would you consider him to be?
People who have met the real Dmitry Medloff.
There is a real Dmitry
Medloff. Dmitry Medloff from the book is 7 feet. He's 6'8". One is blonde, one is dark haired. Okay. You know what I mean? But they're both originally, Russian, and so I would say anybody who knows either character would be like, bad boy.
Okay.
Bad
of course, just reading about him, it's like, he is a bad boy.
Very rough.
Yes.
Yeah. The tattoos tell the story.
Yeah. Okay, so both of you guys kind of gave different, scenarios, but do you think a bad boy can be a good guy, or can he, be faithful? Can he, be the things that a good guy can be, or is it just, because a lot of people think bad boy, think jail, think, crime and drugs and, that type of thing. Yeah. But can that guy that's been in and out of jail and, on the street corners, can he be faithful to a woman? Can he be?
I think he can do that. I think he can get there. for the right person.
Okay.
You know, and Steve Harvey says that all the time. They'll change for the right person.
Right.
Or when they get, like you were saying, when they get to that season in their lives and they've matured.
Right.
I think it can happen. And that change can come. It can come. It's not always an easy change.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know any dudes that hang out on street corners, but that doesn't make them very bad boys. I think they're bad boys in boardrooms.
Yeah.
They're bad boys, you know, in business in general, and
Yeah.
they do all sorts of shady stuff. And just because they wear a
Yes.
suit and they drive a nice vehicle,
Yes.
then they're no. I think that
No, I don't think the look matters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me just say,
Exactly.
some of the brothers on
I
the
don't
street
think the
corners
look
in
matters.
trouble back and forth are
Right.
not nicer
Yeah.
than you get what I'm saying.
Definitely.
But
Yes.
more to your point, I think that bad boys can be good. You know, and there's some great cops, some great military men who I consider to be bad boys because they are just rough.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I mean?
the way
Just
they
oh my
are.
good
Yes.
gracious. You just see people just like, it just try.
Right, exactly.
You know, and you take them to their nana's house though, and they're
They're a
completely
different
different.
person.
You know,
Different.
they're like,
Yes, the
they
mama's
won't curse
boy.
around
Yes.
Nana.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Take their shoes off when they come in. They wash their hands. You know, they straighten their clothes up, try to hide some of the tattoos.
Right.
So I think that it's just, they're all different, but they can be both.
Okay.
They can be both.
Okay. And do you think good guys are boring?
I don't.
No, you don't
I've
think
never been attracted to the bad boy though. Like the
Okay.
bad guys,
Mhm.
that's never been me. I've never liked the bad
I
guys.
am with you.
The good, I always go for like the good guy that's kind of quiet. He's in the corner, That's what I always go for. Not the class clown, the loud, rough, fighting all the time. That's not the guy I go for. But.
Okay. So you don't think they're necessarily boring?
No, I don't think that
Okay.
they're boring. I
Okay.
think that they can be very sweet.
Okay. What do you think?
My grandfather's a good guy.
Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't change him for the world.
Yeah.
He's so sweet. My father is a bad boy.
Really?
He's a sweetie pie, but
He's
he's
bad.
sweet. And then I've always been, my brother is a good guy. You know what I mean? I've seen this sort of, the polar opposite
Okay.
of the two, and I think that there's something to say for both.
Okay.
I do think that good guys can be extremely exciting because
Yeah,
they're
they
not
can be.
focused on putting off a persona for everybody, so they can show you a side of them that only
Yes,
you two
only
have
you
that is
see.
very,
Yeah.
very special. But I like bad boys.
Really?
I like bad boys. I'm gonna be completely honest, and my mom knows this, and when she sees this, it's not like she's gonna be shocked.
Right.
My priest knows it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
I like bad boys.
You like bad boys. Is it because there's a level of excitement for them, or what is it about a bad boy?
He doesn't
you
have
like?
to be. I mean, I don't like people who've been incarcerated. I don't like people who have. Not. I say that not in the sense that I'm judgmental. I'm just saying, as a mother now and
Exactly.
recently divorced, one thing I have to be careful of is what I subject my children to. So I would
Right.
definitely not be interested in dating the local drug dealer.
Right.
But I like men that you sort of walk through the door, and I want to see the other dude move out of his way.
Right.
I want the guy to open the door for the lady and the other dude to stand aside and let him pass. I just want him to get out the car and somebody to ask him, does he have $5? Because
Right.
he looks, I probably don't want to bother him today. I just love that alpha male sort of
Yes.
radiating dominance type of
Right.
guy. I don't mean the kind that'll snap, grab you by the back of your ponytail and throw you into a wall.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
That's not cool. I don't
that's
want
not
you to be so steroided up that you beating the crap out of everybody. I'm simply saying that I like that thing of, I am a man's man. I am myself. I have confidence in myself, and I don't have to prove anything.
But can a good guy
I was just
be
gonna
that?
say that.
though?
The good guy can have
Yeah,
that
the
too.
good
The good guy can have that
Absolutely.
the masculinity, he can
Right.
have that walk in the room and take charge.
Right.
I
exactly.
agree.
He can have that. He can have that. Now, the bad boy, he might have some other characteristics that we can't get with, you know.
Right.
But I think the good guy, he can have that still, that down home, the manners and all
Yes.
that, and he can
I
still
think
have that
that's
take
sweet.
charge. Get out of my way.
Right.
You're not gonna talk to
You're
my woman
right,
any kind of way.
right,
Then
right,
if
right.
you push him there. So.
Right.
Exactly. So I think there's levels to this.
Yeah,
That's what,
yeah.
that's what we're saying.
I like that as a t-shirt.
Because the good guy, like you were saying, how you like a bad guy, you like a good guy, but your bad guy or your definition of a bad guy is not really
Not a criminal.
Yes,
No.
exactly. So there's
No, not a
different, as you can
criminal.
see, there's different levels, because I think when my mind thinks a good guy, I think, yes, I am a lover of the good guy. I am team good guy, but I like your definition of
A bad boy.
So I think I like the bad boy that's,
Works
Yes,
every day, takes
exactly.
care of himself
See,
legally.
bad boy
But
is
they,
a closeted good
yeah,
guy.
yeah, that's what
Yes.
Or a bad boy who's a
Yes,
complete anti-hero.
exactly.
Or just does the
Yeah.
180.
Or
Like,
he's been a bad boy before.
Yes.
But
He's
now
reformed,
you're
yes.
a reformed bad boy.
Right,
Yes. I
right.
think that's what I like.
As
I
long
like the
as he is
reformed bad boy.
not, I think that one thing that I always ask a guy, and if he sort of shies out from it, then I mean, if like, are you a Christian?
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's like the most simple thing. It's a yes or no. And if a guy's like, hey, she's
Right.
talking about religion, and I know that I don't want to
You're
be
not
the
right.
guilty, but I think a guy, just like men have the hardest decisions in this world to make sometimes,
Right.
especially depending on what field they're in.
Yes. I
And
agree.
so sometimes if you just know the basics, are you going to really try to be a good person at heart? That matters. But then in his day-to-day job, he's a bad boy. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I will kick
yes.
this door in and
Yes,
drag all of y'all
yes,
out of here.
I love
You know what I mean? I something about it. I love
Yes.
that rough sort of
yes, a
tough,
take charge
guy.
guy. Yes, love that.
I
Well,
consider
look,
that the bad boy.
we
People know
have
not to mess with them. I like that.
yes, we have talked about good guys, bad boys, and it's already time to close. We're gonna have to come back. Both of y'all come back, and we'll talk more about it, because I have so much more to cover that I didn't get to. But we have reached the close of the show. Thank you all for watching. Kimberly, Kirby, she is definitely coming back. She's gonna have her own spotlight segment when she comes back.
I
Love
love her.
her.
I'm still in
Love
one of your
her.
books.
Yes.
And Latrivia, she is awesome. We love her. So they both will be back. And thank you guys so much for coming and joining me, having a little girl talk.
Thank you.
Fun.
And I'll let you all know how you can reach these two, because you have to make sure you look out for them, get their books, support them.
Yes,
Support
please.
these ladies. They're amazing. And thank you so much for watching another episode of The Latest. Make sure you follow me on all of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, I'm there. So once again, keep tuning in to The Latest. And remember, it's always the latest with VR. Until next time, bye.
Hey, does your food suffer from a flavor deficiency? Well, let Flying Sobeys multi-purpose buffalo wing sauce give you a smack in the mouth with flavor. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I give you a Flying Sobeys flavor smack in the mouth?
Well, sure you can.
Ooh. Wow. Can I have a flavor smack in the mouth too? Sure you can. With Flying Sobeys multi-purpose buffalo wing sauce. Get you some today.